Walking and rolling costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
We're in the New England states this week, race number 10 of the regular season. We're running out of time for drivers to lock themselves in to the top 16. It's a win and you're in situation. And live here tonight from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it is QSR Simulations Next Generation Cup Series live on V-Speed. The Clean Cut Painting Co. 135 at New Hampshire. And I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside all season long with you guys here. Cameras provided by Dougie Beard. We have a lot to talk about in a short amount of time to do it. So the first thing I want to bring up, and these points here are not reflective of the official points with the win in your end system, but this is after race 9. This is the totals and the tallies for Bradley Wilson, Alan Dobbs, Blake Giglio, all with a victory. You also have 5 drivers locked in off of wins with Quentin Stewart, and Garrett Wolfenbarger also in this list. They are just below that 20 cut line there on our points graphic, but they are on 5 spots taken by winners. Right now, 11 drivers are kind of on that bubble with Dylan Picklesheimer plus 48 all the way down to Kenny Frisbee plus 9. Austin Thomas, the tiebreaker right now, and he is versing Wyatt Walker. And that tiebreaker will be upheld for Austin, who currently holds the most top 5s in this series. Every winner outside the top 16 will push that cut line down, so it's a little difficult for me to kind of gauge that and get that information out to you. I'll have to work with Quentin Stewart to get an official points graphic here for these last 3 or 4 weeks, but right now that is the outlook for your playoff format, and we'll talk a little bit about those drivers as the race continues. But here's a look at the schedule. 4 races left here, including New Hampshire. We go on to Rockingham, Darlington, and Kentucky. A lot of technical racetracks, if you include there with Rockingham and Darlington right after New Hampshire. If you love oval racing, you're going to love this, and it goes all the way down to Las Vegas to start round 1 of the playoffs. But if you take a look here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, opened June 5th, 1990 in Loudon, New Hampshire, 1 mile exactly, 2 to 7 degrees of banking. It's actually a little bit different in 3 and 4 than it is in 1 and 2, and the backstretch pretty much flat. So coming off of the exit of turn 4 is rather difficult. You'll see a lot of drivers stepping out the back end here tonight. It's going to be difficult to pass on the inside, get that run out. You'll probably see drivers clip that outside wall, especially out of turn 4. But nonetheless, it can still set up. If you save your tires initially in the short run, you could find your way to the front. You just have to be patient, race the track and not the cars around you. That is the name of the game here tonight as we get set for 135 laps here today. Pit road speed limit 45 miles per hour. 4 tire sets available. 2 green, white checkered attempts. The stage at lap 40. 100% fuel here today. With that, it's time to go track side. Get the grid up on your screen. Starting on the top spot, Garrett Wolfenbarger with a 29.610. He will beat by 0.02 of a second on Bradley Wilson, who's leading the points coming into tonight. Jason Blaney and Alan Dobbs, 3rd and 4th position. Then you have Dylan Picklesheimer and Ryan Philbrick for row number 3. Blake Giglio and Kenny Frisbee starting alongside each other in that top 10 with Jesse Gordon and Justin Clapper in the 63. Austin Thomas and Nicholas Caldwell, 11th and 12th. 13th goes to Christian Rock-Regal, Johnny DePasquale in 14th. And you have Al Likens, Mitchell Costner, 15th and 16th. Davis Greenwell starting here. 17th and 18th. And very quick on the grid as we have Ryan Field and Quentin Stewart. But here we go for week number 10. Let's go green flag racing at New Hampshire. And leading lap number 1, it will be Wolfenbarger and Timber Packs here. We got a problem here out of turn 2. 06 of Philbrick. Looks like the 110 of Jesse Gordon already. Lap 2, caution is out. So a little bit of a change here. There will be race control tonight. All cautions tonight will be done by race control. Single car spins or incidents will not result in a yellow. So QSR taking it upon themselves to throw these caution flags tonight. And this is kind of based off of last week at Homestead, where caution flags were falling for single car spins all night long. and resetting this field. So that was enough to trigger a yellow. We'll take you back on our V-Speed instant replay and see exactly how this went down. And it looked like the 06 at Philbrick went first. We'll back this up one more time. Right there, getting loose into the middle of the corner. And the 3 of Al Likens nowhere to go. On board with Likens. The multi-car incident here on lap number 2, and that'll bring everybody down pit road that was involved. Trying to get some of that damage repaired, but this puts Garrett Wolfenbarger in a great situation. At least to lead some laps. Because Bradley Wilson, the teammate just behind him here on this restart, will be alongside. I'm interested to see if the 32 chooses the inside or not on this restart. And already in fuel conservation mode here. 100% fuel. These drivers shouldn't have a problem making it to the stage. But at 135 laps, most likely going to have to take a pit stop. As you'll see, Wolfenbarger choose the left-hand side. Will be inside for this restart. Let's try it again on lap number 6. Flag back underway. And an excellent restart here for Wilson. He will be to the outside going into turn 1. He's going to pinch down on the 32, take it wide out. Can he get the run off the corner? He'll stay side by side down the backstretch. Breaks a little bit later than the 32. He will get the top spot. 22 of Jason Blaney on the inside of Alan Dobbs. They're looking 3 wide back here with Dylan Picklesheimer way outside. There's Blake Giglio. Ryan Philbrick with a black flag. There's Christian Ruckriegel going around down the backstretch. And we will stay green. See if we can go back and find what happened to Ruckriegel. Coming off of turn 2. He's going to get loose on his own. Can't save it. Slides it sideways and back to the live shot. Fred Pennington's around. Off of turn 4. It's coming into turn 1. It's Brent Allen to the inside here on lap number 9. And a checkup, lockup on the brakes. And the 38 involved of Nathan Line. The multi-car incident throws the caution. And this thing looking like a handful here tonight. Track temperature at 88 degrees, partly cloudy, 69 in the ambient air. As this track rubbers up, they'll be hunting for grip, but it looks like they're already hunting for it, especially on that low line. Already 2 cautions here tonight. A lot of different drivers with cameras here tonight. We'll look at some of those right now as we get set to double back up. One of the drivers we'll bring up first is Justin Clapper in the 63. Go back to another driver, Fred Pennington, who just had problems a moment ago. Coming back down pit road. There's the 40 car. Look at Fred Pennington. We also have Nathan Line, Austin Thomas, Austin Dowdy, Brent Allen, all with cameras here tonight. But Bradley Wilson going to take the inside for this restart. It didn't work for Wolfenbarger on that last one, but the 51 was able to power move into 3 and 4. Hold on the outside, and just enough there. We will get our 3rd start of the day. Here at the Magic Mile, lap number 12, a quarter of the way through stage 1. Bradley Wilson gonna hit the loud pedal. We're back underway in New Hampshire. The 32 of Wolfenbarger trying to do that power move that he saw earlier from his teammate does not work. 22 of Jason Blaney going to hold on the outside. That's Alan Dobbs for 3rd position. Holding his own, but he's sideways. Single car spin into 1 and 2. He's on the outside. Everybody gets by clear, and the 22 falls back to 27th position. Take it back on a replay and see exactly how that went down. He's on the outside of Dobbs right here. Dobbs scoots up the racetrack. The 9 of Picklesheimer into the left rear. 22's around. No contact with the wall. But back to the live shot. He's got an eternity back here. They're on the other side of this racetrack. A little bit of a technical error there. Seems to be back running fine. Wolfenbarger trying to chase down. 2/10 back. Ryan Philbrick finally gets his black flag cleared here. Here's some side-by-side for 21st position. It's back here with Al Likens, who was involved in that first caution. Now getting passed by Quentin Stewart. Austin Dowdy just ahead of that in the number 8 on board with the 8. He's all over the back bumper of Jeremiah Nelson. 155 miles per hour, breaking down to 110. Gotta get that car to rotate and kind of grade off the exit of these corners. You want to try to take it as straight as possible. Contact just ahead of him there. That's the 79 of Burlington running a hard battle with the 52 of Bryant. This is for 18th, 17th position right now. Bryant able to hold on to it. Davis Greenwell in the number 20 with Brent Allen just behind. Top 5 have kind of checked out for the rest of this field. Blake Giglio, Kenny Frisbee in 6th position. And then it's a pretty big gap back here to Clapper, about 0.7 of a second. You have Nicholas Caldwell in this mix as well. Austin Thomas, top 10. We're halfway through stage number 1. Johnny DePasquale rounding out your top 10. And here's a driver trying to get back up front to the top 10. Jesse Gordon, who was caught up in that lap 1 incident. Out of turn 2, he's going to pancake the wall, though. Hard hit for the 110. He's trying to get back to 9th where he began this race. Currently running in 16th behind Brent Allen. There's a close battle there with Greenwell and Allen for the top 15. Run off of turn 2. He's going to carry it to the inside. Brent Allen goes to the outside line. Peeks to the outside. Almost contact here off of 4. Brent Allen will get to the bottom. That opens up the door for the 110. He'll get to the right side. Well played there by Jesse Gordon to pick up another position. Generally, Burlington ends up getting loose and hitting the outside wall. He's going to lose about 5 positions here. Watch him coming off of turn 2. He already had some right front damage on this machine. He's going to get loose. Able to catch it, but lost a lot of positions there. And with Wilson, Wolfenbarger, Dobbs, Giglio, and Picklesheimer, there's a lot of the top 5 in points. Top 5 in this race. Would not be surprised if this is how the finishing order went. There's some side-by-side for the 13th position. Greenwell is going to pass Wyatt McCombs. Here comes Jesse Gordon to try to do the same into turn 1. Hard in the outside wall there. That's the 81 of Ryan Field. 4 laps down. They clear. Brent Allen now. Working the inside line. Not able to get by. Another lap ticks away. 13 to go. Challenge for the lead down the backstretch. Here comes Garrett Wolfenbarger to try to take it away. Teammates dishing it out. This is going to allow the 54 of Dobbs to catch up. How long do they want to race side by side? Wolfenbarger by... No, it was Wilson by 1,000th of a second across the line. And now using each other's doors, here comes Dobbs to the bottom. Cross the line again here. This time it will be the 51 of Wilson with a little door touch there on the 32, and close call there. Wolfenbarger challenging. Trying to figure out a way around his teammate. As pressure from behind from Dobbs. Here comes Giglio as well, about to have a four-way battle for the lead. Giglio using the apron there. Still not able to clear for Garrett Wolfenbarger. It's time through 3 and 4. He's going to have the advantage. He'll be to the inside by a couple hundredths of a second. The 51 of Wilson not wanting to give up these stage points. Sideways off at turn 2. Wilson with the advantage into 3. Dobbs peeking at 3 wide. Into 3 and 4. There's contact with the 32. The 54's around. And caution's going to have to come out for this one. Dobbs is around, and there's the yellow. The 32 of Wolfenbarger falls back to 7th. Dobbs ends up losing even more, back to 17th. Here's the contact. Giglio on the inside ends up getting away there. We're watching on board, but yeah, 54 to the throttle, tries to check back up. 16 is there. And close calls for all these cars behind as well. Nobody else involved in this one, though. And Wilson will stay out 32 down pit road to try to repair some of this damage. Heavy damage on the front end of that machine. Not race ending, but it will affect the speed down these straightaways. And I have to wait and see if the 32 can get that car back up to the top spots. Don't go anywhere. Race number 10 of QSR Simulations Next Gen Cup Series action. Coming back here on V-Speed for the Clean Cut Painting Co. 135 right after this.
Walking and Rolling Costume started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walk and Roll in Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams. Welcome back here to our coverage at New Hampshire, and we're watching a battle for the lead as Blake Giglio took offense to the back end of one of Goods, and now problems in the back of this field. Ryan Field down pit road. I don't know exactly who brought this caution out. Red Pennington all the way back here by himself. Was actually the 8 of Austin Dowdy who got sent to round, so we'll back this up one more time. He's coming off of turn 2. Thirty-two to the inside, locks it up. 8 of line there. 8 just gets loose on his own and nowhere for the 32 to go. And that's going to do it for stage 1. Bradley Wilson will get stage 1. Top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen. The down pit road, 37 might have missed the stall. 32 down and away, or into the stall now. 37 down and away. Not exactly sure what happened there to Trevor Trego. I think he missed his pit box entirely. Bradley Wilson leading him back out on the racetrack. The 54 of Dobbs. After coming down pit road, he will be the command car for this next restart. Stage number 1 goes to Bradley Wilson. We're going to take another quick break here on V-Speed and try to wrap things up here with our sponsors. You are watching the QSR Simulations Cup Series.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to our coverage from New Hampshire and race number 10 of the season. Alan Dobbs, Brent Allen on the front row, Wyatt McCombs, Davis Greenwell, Galen Wunsch, the top five. Brownlee Wilson, who won stage number 1 in 6th spot with Blake Giglio, the 32, who was challenging for the lead there just before that stage break, is back up to 13th now. And he has a lot of that damage repaired, so I'm interested to see if that 32 can get back up here. So we have a lot of racing left to be done. Just under 100 laps, around 90 to go here from New Hampshire. Pace car going to stay out for another lap here. And now officially lights are out. So we get the 1 to go signal to get back to racing. If you're just joining us, we'll take a look at those points really quickly. This is after week number 9, and of course a couple drivers that are locked in here with Wolfenbarger and Quentin Stewart. not on these point standings, but locked into the playoffs. So that puts it really tight there for 14th position. You can see tied there for Austin Thomas and Wyatt Walker. They would technically be 16th and 17th position when you add the names of Stewart and Wolfenbarger up to that top. One win each. We've had 5 different winners this season. Will we see a new one? Or do we add a 5th win for Bradley Wilson? Getting set to go back green. Pace car out of the way. Alan Dobbs going to be the command car. Green flag, and we're back racing for QSR Simulations Next Gen Cup Series. Dive into the inside for 5th. There's Giglio. Using the apron of the racetrack here through 1 and 2. Will it hold? And problems in the background. The 18 is around. Caution is out again. That's the 18 of Kenny Frisbee around. '52 around as well. This all happens out at turn 2. There's Clapper in the middle, 18. It's tight right here. He gets loose on his own. 32 can't catch a break. Happens right in front of him. This is on board with Wolfenbarger. Watch the 18 just kind of get free on the exit of 2. And the 52 in the aftermath, not sure exactly how it went down for him. Here's a look at it again. He gets loose trying to avoid it. Race recap at the top of your screen. 6 cautions here tonight. Bradley Wilson, stage 1 winner. He's up to 4th position now. Slight disadvantage for these top 4. Top 3, rather, with Wyatt McCombs, Brent Allen, and Alan Dobbs. They have slightly older tires than Bradley Wilson. We're only talking about 2 or 3 under green, though. And that will even off. If we go green for a while, I think Brent Allen, maybe Wyatt McCombs will lose positions, but I think Alan Dobbs could hold off this 51 for a while. Clean Air proving, especially when you get to pick your line on the restarts, he could get out to a good jump, pull away from this pack, and it could hold up Bradley Wilson for a while before he's even able to contest the lead. However, you know, I've been wrong before. I know Alan Dobbs is a tough customer when it comes to passing for the lead. You have Brent Allen, Wyatt McCombs, who picked up 25 and 21 positions respectively to get up here with this strategy call, and they're not going to want to give up either. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out for Bradley Wilson. Blake Giglio, also one of those top 3 runners. Here we go for another restart. It's the 54 of Dobbs into turn 1. Come back here with Giglio on the outside for the 4th position. Wyatt McCombs driving it down low. A lot of wanted goons cars up here in the top 5 fighting amongst themselves. And the 63 of Clapper is around. Caution is out again on lap 52. Blaney goes to the outside. The 63 tries to close the door. Watches from another replay. Here's a better angle at it. Watch the 63. He's right there in the middle in front of that 22 car. There's a little bit of an opening. Blaney kind of forces the nose in there. 63 is getting ready to set up turn 1 on the entry, and we'll go on board with the 22. They're 3 wide there for a moment. And that's just a close call. Let's back this up one more time. I want to get the 63's perspective here. He's 3 wide right now with Picklesheimer, the 32 on the inside, Galen Wunsch. And so he sees in the mirror. He doesn't think the 22 is going to keep forcing it. He's actually looking at what's going on in front of him right here. Minor damage for Clapper, but still, it's a tough break. It sets him back to 26th position now. And he has to get this car repaired as best as he can. And he'll get the EOL penalty for this one. Alan Dobbs still your leader. Dobbs has led 15 laps here. Slowly, Bradley Wilson's creeping back into the picture, and he will restart behind the 54 on this one. So Wilson could make quick work of the 13. We also have the 16 of Giglio, the 32 of Wolfenbarger creeping back up here to the top 5. This race is progressively trying to correct itself for the drivers that were fastest in practice and qualifying. The strategy only works for so long. Every time we have a caution, it kind of resets that mentality. Here we go, back underway. Lap 55. Dobbs already being challenged into turn 1. Here comes Giglio all the way to the inside on the apron again. He gets loose. 3 wide for the lead. Off of the corner, Dobbs holds on to it. For how much longer? Brent Allen able to hold off Blake Giglio. Nice charge there for the 13, on board with the 13 machine down the backstretch. The car to the inside now with Giglio. Can he hold him off? Giglio not afraid to use that apron. And Allen runs out of racetrack. We'll fall back to a driver that's on a similar strategy. 54 Dobbs still holding on. And the 22 of Blaney trying to get by Dylan Picklesheimer. They're side by side. The 20 of Greenwell being challenged for 7th position. Top 10 very much up for grabs halfway through this race. Almost 3 wide, 20 makes contact with the 9. Picklesheimer able to clear. Will carry on for lap 60 out of 135 miles here today. And a hard battle with the 10 and the 9 for 6th. It's a close call. Anna McCombs barely fits it in that window in front of Blaney. And Jason Blaney is going to power into 1 and stay right out of his door coming off the exit of 2. Go clear. Looking back further here with Galen Wunsch. Look at all the different lines that are being chosen here. Dylan Picklesheimer gets around the 13. Brent Allen running out of racetrack again there. There's Jason Blaney peeking to the inside. Can't get it done. Blaney a little early on the throttle. I thought they were going to touch doors there through 3 and 4, but he's able to keep it off of the 13. He will clear and go into turn 1 with the 6th position. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead continues to heat up. 51 of Wilson all over the back end of Alan Dobbs. He's now led approximately 25 laps. He might not get 25 laps. Here comes the 51 again. Barely gets it. Wilson has the lead for a moment there through 1 and 2. Dobbs holds it on the outside, pinches it between the wall. 51 of Wilson sends it into 3. 3 or 4 lap difference on tires showing itself right now. What a drive off the corner for Wilson. But Dobbs does it a little bit better. A couple thousandths of a second for the 54. He's not going to quit fighting. Wilson leads that time by. He'll take over the spot and now clears Alan Dobbs. And there's Garrett Wolfenbarger, a driver who was challenging for the lead earlier in this race. He is now within half a second of Alan Dobbs. I'm interested to see if we maybe see some fireworks here. I know the 32 isn't going to cut any slack for Dobbs. But now that we're at that halfway mark, just past that halfway mark, the perfect opportunity to find those remote controls. And let's crank it up. Presented by MSR Performance. And crank it up here, presented by MSR Performance. The 11 of Nicholas Caldwell is around in turn 4, and the 11 facing the wrong direction. Gonna lose a ton of spots. He was running around 16th position, now back to 27th, and he's gonna go a lap down. Contact here with the 52 and the 18. Man, nowhere for the 18 to go, apparently. Go on board here with Kenny Frisbee. We'll back this up one more time. We're going to get a look at what happened to the 11. Gets to the inside of the 52. A little bit of net code there, but 85 of Walker into the back of the 11. Watch this on board. Watch the 52. And one more time. We'll watch on board with the 85. On board with Wyatt Walker. And after pit stops, this cycles out Blake Giglio to the lead. He has 35-lap-old tires for this restart, but he's going to get some laps led. Bradley Wilson, Alan Dobbs, everybody from second on back on a level playing field here. Al Likens with a black flag, not sure exactly what that's for. But the 3-car has to serve a penalty as we double back up on lap 74. We'll go back green. Lap 75. Just about 3/4 of the way through this event at New Hampshire. 10 races of the regular season. And it's already looking like win number 5 for Bradley Wilson. He is definitely fast. Could be another win for Alan Dobbs. Could be another win for Blake Giglio. Garrett Wolfenbarger challenging for the lead there a moment ago. And everybody in the top 4 has a victory this season. Going to be a pretty tough task here for Giglio to hold off Bradley Wilson. A 30-lap difference on tires is going to make a big difference here at New Hampshire. But track position is key. I don't know if I agree with the call of staying out. Let's see how it all plays out here. Our 8th start of the night. 7th restart. Blake Giglio on the outside. Getting ready to go back green. And there it is into the restart zone. Here we go. And a big shove there from the 32. He's going to try to get clear of the 51 of Wilson. 16 playing both lanes there through 1 and 2. 3 wide just behind him here. Brent Allen sorting it out. Allen Dobbs. And the caution's back out. Christian Ruckriegel in 3. There was the 3 wide we made mention of there momentarily. White Walker shoots up the racetrack on the entrance of turn 3. And the Magic Mile sign, nose first for Ruckriegel. '85 locked up the tires trying to avoid that. He knew he overshot the entry of turn 3 and most likely will get the black flag penalty, EOL. This holds on even more time for Blake Giglio. Did a phenomenal job keeping his car in front of the 51 and the 32. Hard charge there for Wolfenbarger on that restart. Got to the outside of his teammate, but it was the 16 that kind of dictated that restart into turn 1. Now 5 laps led for the 16, looking to get his second win since Daytona 9 races ago. More coverage will continue here on V-Speed. You're watching the QSR Simulations Next Gen Cup Series. More coverage continues here on V-Speed in just a moment.
Walking and rolling costume started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here in our coverage, 86 laps now into 135 miles, 135 laps in the Clean Cut Painting Co. at New Hampshire. Bradley Wilson and Garrett Wolfenbarger go back and forth as they take away the lead from Blake Giglio, who's holding his own with almost a 30-lap difference in tires for Giglio. Wyatt McCombs up to 5th. Galen Wunsch in 6th position. Brent Allen, Johnny DePasquale, Jeremiah Nelson, and Davis Greenwell. Biggest gainer of the race so far is the 199. He started back in 28th. He's having a top 10 day. Can he seal the deal? I would give driver of the day to the 199 if he can hold it up here in the top 10. And the tough break here for Jesse Gordon. He started in 9th, and he has not seen the top 10 ever since. Lap 1 incident for the 110. He fell out. He's been in recovery mode ever since. He has some damage on the right front of that machine. Car off the racetrack. That was the 48 machine of Jeremiah Nelson. Will stay green. A lockup on the brakes just in front of him. Brock Regal and Costner side by side. And the 10's around. That's Wyatt McCombs. Another caution here at New Hampshire. Galen Wunsch looking for position and heavy contact there. Not sure if the 10 came down or the 199 came up. See if we can get a better angle at this. They were already side by side. One should try to complete this pass down the front stretch. Couldn't get it done. He's going to send it into turn 1. It looks like the 10 just comes down on him. Not the best angle there. From that angle, it kind of looks like they met in the middle. To find the best angle I can. Wunsch is down on the bottom. I don't know, he comes up a little bit, but the 10 really pinches there on the entrance. One more time, we'll try to do this justice. It's Galen Wunsch to the inside. Oh, no, that's a tough call. Once just get a little bit loose, goes up into the 10. All right. I feel like that is just one of those racing deals, but it doubles us back up for another restart. Now we have Justin Clapper on 14-lap old tires on the outside. With around 40 laps to go. Shy of that 35 mark, and people tossing out Hail Marys to try to get back into this race. Clapper started in 10th position. Now up to the top 3, highest running for that 63 machine. He's going to try to mix it up, as is Johnny DePasquale. The pace car gets ready to pull off. What do you say we ride on board with the driver of the 63 for this one? And cars around, it's Giglio in the background. Caution back out. Giglio sideways, the 3 of Likens involved, the 38 of Line up against the wall. And Blake Giglio cannot catch a break here tonight. .32 got loose. 35 into the back and the checkup. And there's the 8 of Dowdy, the 3 of Likens piling in after the fact. Wunsch did a fantastic job of avoiding that. Watch it one more time from our blimp angle on this restart. Big checkup on the outside. Clapper did not get it going. There's the wiggle from the 85 and the 32. There's the contact with the 35. This is on board with Austin Thomas. So a lot to unpack here, but it's 11 cautions and 12 lead changes here at New Hampshire. But Bradley Wilson has been the dominant car of the day. He won stage 1. He's led 50 laps and is over half of the laps completed here. Tonight, looking to add win number 5 on the season. As the lights will go out on the pace car, Justin Clapper is going to get another attempt at a restart. Hopefully this time he'll be in the correct gear. He was in 3rd gear just before they hit the loud pedal. He's in 4th gear right now. Hopefully we see a downshift to 2nd. There we go. Just looking out for you, Clapper. Bradley Wilson, the command car. And Wyatt Walker, Johnny DePasquale. Right now looking like a 5th win, but we could add a new name to the drivers that are locked in here at New Hampshire. Race number 10. Around 40 to go. Green flag back underway. And another big jump here to the inside into turn 1 for the 51. Clapper able to clear again. And 13 cars around. A big crash on the backstretch. And Brent Allen. Big damage for the 13. .35 off the wall. Into him. Look at all the cars involved in this one. Big incident here on lap 97. .35 bounces off the wall on board with Austin Thomas. Dylan Picklesheimer's involved. There's a 9 car going to the inside. The lights come on the ambulance. He says, no, I'm okay. Pulls away. Watch how fast things happen here at New Hampshire. Picklesheimer thought he made it through. That shakes it up again here for Bradley Wilson. Austin Dowdy, Kenny Frisbee, Christian Ruck-Regal, all with black flags. It'll be 35 laps to go. Racing pace car out of the way. Wilson, can he get another great jump into turn 1? Back underway. Another big jump. Clapper still hasn't figured out the restarts. He's going to have to hold off Walker again. Johnny DePasquale trying to get around him. Alan Dobbs, 3 wide into 3. Here we go. What a sin there from the 54. They'll get to the inside of Clapper. Johnny DePasquale gets moved up the racetrack in the entry of 1. Holds on to it. Looking for a pass for 3rd position. We're looking 3 wide coming off of turn 4. And Justin Clapper falling back to 4th spot now. It's about double the laps of these cars getting around him. It's not translating well, but again, track position. He's right on board with 6th place driver. Just trying to do whatever he can. Here comes the 99 of Quentin Stewart to the top 10. 16 of Giglio all the way down on the apron. One of the few cars we've seen do that here tonight and get away with it. Do it again, 3 wide. Picklesheimer on the left. Goes around Wyatt Walker. Stewart hold him off. This is for 9th now. Picklesheimer gets by. Will Stewart cross him over? He's going to look to the inside. Can't get the car going, and Picklesheimer up to 9th now. Jason Blaney, Johnny DePasquale. Top 5. It's Wilson, Dobbs, and Wolfenbarger. Your top 3 in the points. Wolfenbarger falls back about a second and a half. Can Dobbs go chase down the 51? Some side-by-side with DePasquale. He'll get by. Or Jason Blaney, rather, will get by for 4th spot. Giglio going to work on the 1 car off of 4. Quentin Stewart fighting with Mitchell Costner, the 10th position, going around Clapper and out of the inside for 9th. And contact there with the 110 and the 92 as they come down the backstretch. In this picture, Ryan Field is 10 laps down, mixing it up here as they go 3 wide off of turn 2. 10 car of Wyatt McCombs trying to clear that. Johnny DePasquale has the 16 of Giglio on the outside for 5th spot. Your Daytona winner going to pick up another position into the top 5. And it was just about 25, 30 laps ago the 16 was spun around. $25 to go when we cross the stripe. Biggest movers of the race. Looking through this field, Davis Greenwell started in 17th up to 7th. As the 9, we have a caution out on the racetrack. Not sure exactly where this happens. Oh, right there, Ryan Field. 48 car. 48 car Jeremiah Nelson. Field was, like I said, 10 laps down. I'm not sure if that's exactly what threw that caution. Back this up one more time. I don't know if that's enough to trigger a yellow here. Apparently, that is what brought out the caution here on lap 111. And it's Bradley Wilson bringing him down pit road. He's going to fake him out. We shake it up again as Blaney leads about half the field down pit road. More coverage will continue. QSR Next Gen Cup Series. Right after this.
Walking and rolling costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game.
Just coming back live here on lap 116. You just witnessed Galen Wunsch trying to make a pass there for a moment for around the 13th spot. He goes sideways. Now looking up for the top 10. Wyatt McCombs back up here in the 199 of Galen Wunsch, who got into him earlier. As we have 3 wide in the background here. That was Wyatt Walker in the 85. The 81 still mixing it up here. A few laps down for Field, but still just fighting, and kudos to him. And the one of Goons. Ford Mustang. Battle for third. Giglio and Dobbs side by side for a moment there. The battle for the lead, though, is hot with under 20 to go. Wolfenbarger looking for win number 3. He's all over his teammate coming out of turn 2. '51 Wilson loses the lead. For the first time today, Wolfenbarger is going to hold on to it, but here we go with another peek into 3 and 4. Giglio also in this mix as well. "13 lead changes here tonight. Wilson, your stage winner, back to second. It is Go Gear for the top 3. This is a 3-way battle for the lead. And the 32 is turned. The 51 is out as well. They've got to throw a yellow for this one. And problems even after the fact. The 18, who's a teammate thrown into the wall. And Kenny Frisbee destroyed. It's goon on goon crime here down the front stretch. Watch coming out of turn 4. He gets close here in the middle, but right off the exit. 51, 32, nobody giving an inch. And I think the 16 might have gotten to the back of the 51. We'll have to watch that back from a different angle, but watch this. 35 had nowhere to go. 32 just trying to come back up the racetrack. And yeah, if you're Austin Thomas right now, you're probably wondering what just happened. This is on board with Austin Thomas. Watch the 32 just dart back up the racetrack. Wolfenbarger probably not happy with this, but we need to go back and ride on board with the 16 of Giglio. I don't know if he got into the back of the 51 here or not. I don't think he did. Yeah, 51 just pushed it up the racetrack too early. They're actually going to give the black flag to the 32 here. I think for coming back up the racetrack. Let's go on board here with the 51. This is the moment right here. Wolfenbarger just drives it back up the racetrack and almost takes out drivers on the outside. And this is a tight window here if you're Austin Thomas. This is scary. You don't know where that car is going. And that cycles the lead again. I believe Giglio got the lead there. I'm not sure if I agree. The 16 was at the top spot. 54 Dobbs is going to end up with the lead. But I don't know if I agree with when that caution fell. It should have been thrown a long time ago. Green flag back underway. Dobbs is going to be the command car for this one. About 10 laps left. Here comes the 20 of Davis Greenwell. He's going to look for second spot. How many positions gain? And Trevor Trego's around. Another caution. The one car's involved. Di Pasquale. And we have more chaos here in the closing laps at New Hampshire. This is going into 3 and 4. In the back of the 22, the one sideways. 10 car checks up. 52 down in the grass. Got nothing for it right now. Nothing for it. Other than Alan Dobbs and Blake Giglio are about to duke it out. We're approaching overtime here at New Hampshire. Davis Greenwell in the top 3. 14 positions gained. Wyatt McCombs up 17. Trego up 21. How this race has flipped multiple times here. And we were talking about Trevor Trego earlier. He was outside the top 20 for most of the day. So this race could come up to a top 10 after starting in 29th. Let's see if he can seal the deal. Al Likens back into the top 10. Dobbs electing for the inside here on this restart. Caution plagued race 10. Magic Mile. Out of New Hampshire. 4 races left in the regular season. A new name up here in the top 3 that could punch his ticket. Dylan Picklesheimer would love to get a win. Greenwell going to be on the inside behind your command car. Has a good shot of getting around Giglio. Short track tempers. And an intermediate oval. The bigger version of Martinsville. About to go back green with under 10 to go. 7 laps left. Dobbs back up front. 3 wide in the background. 51 to the inside. Clapper down on the pinch here. 4 wide with Picklesheimer. And the 35's around. The 51 into the outside. And the caution's out again. Austin Thomas gets inside wall. And we're going to overtime. Wilson with the left front completely destroyed. He's done for the day. Comes up into the 35 there. So one more time off the exit of turn 2. There's a check up in the front there. 51's using the apron. Watch this one more time. On board with the 51. He's going to use the bottom. There was the 9 of Picklesheimer that put him 4 wide. But watch as we exit the corner. And that puts your stage 1 winner and one of the dominant cars of the day onto the pit lane. Trying to get this car repaired, but it is heavily, heavily damaged. You can see the right front. Pretty busted up here. Austin Thomas in the 35 has a black flag for this, and I'm not really sure why. We're going to watch this one more time. Unless it's for too much damage. don't know what he's supposed to do there. Justin Clapper out of the race. Early exit for the 63. 4 laps to go. 3 when we take the green. It's already chaos back here around the 5th position. 110, Jesse Gordon back up to the top 5. Look at him scatter down the backstretch. 2 laps to go. 3 wide in front of the 110. Will we make it to the white flag at New Hampshire? Wyatt McCombs into the wall. Caution is out. We're into overtime. Trevor Trago, somebody in the background, destroyed. It's the 37 of Trago. The 10 gets contact. The 199 makes contact. There's a check up there. 199 got into the back of the 37. He's trying to let up here because he sees the 9 and the 10 get together. 9 slides up the racetrack. He makes contact, and then there's a check up, and the 199 of Galen Wunsch runs into the back. It happened fast there. Right on board here with Wunsch. Wunsch of 9 slides up into the 10. And this is what racing looks like with 2 to go. That's just, you're not going to give any more. That puts us into our first green-white checkered attempt. Last one was just shy of that. The 135 miles, not enough. Officially, the 138 here at New Hampshire. The Clean Cut Painting Co. Charging a little bit extra here tonight. We're going to double back up this time by Davis Greenwell. Winless this season will start to the outside. Blake Giglio, Jason Blaney, Al Likens into the top 5. We have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered here. Your stage winner, Bradley Wilson, stuck on pit road. Behind the wall now. Ruck Regal, Caldwell, Philbrick, Pennington, Burleson, all out of this event. Brian Fields still trying to get some of these cars down. As Dobbs will be the command car. Here we go. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. And Dobbs diving. Here's a send from Giglio to the inside. He slides it up the racetrack. 3 wide for second. The 3 of Likens is around. And we're going to have attempt number 2. Likens out of the race. We had to go back quickly. He alt F-board out of this session. He got turned by the 16 off of turn 2. Watch this restart. Went all the way down on the apron, slid up the racetrack. The 3 got into the middle. The 16 goes up into him. Giglio out as well. Cars involved in that in the aftermath. The 13, the 1. There's Johnny DePasquale watching the aftermath down the backstretch. The 5 of Walker, the 37. There's the 99. It's just chaos here for these green-white checkers. Lights are out on the pace car. Greenwell needs to get to the inside. Davis Greenwell to the left-hand lane, please. Okay, now that we've figured that out, let's try another restart. Looks like Dobbs worked that miscommunication to his advantage, and Jesse Gordon's going to get back up front here. Car in the inside wall, that's Trego. He's going to save it. And we're looking at the white flag one more time around here at New Hampshire. .32 of Wolfenbarger goes by Blaney on the inside. Now a crossover from the 22 off of turn 4. Will they be side by side? No, the 22 falls back. Alan Dobbs with the lead. And here we go for the final time around. Alan Dobbs is going to add another victory to his repertoire. And there's cars sideways, but it's the 54. At New Hampshire, big wreck with the 48 in the background. Jesse Gordon and Davis Greenwell for the top 3. And the 48 gets destroyed on this one. Falls all the way back to 18th. Incident points, giving these drivers penalties and Here we go. The one sideways. Wunsch able to avoid it. Squeezes through, and the 48 comes up right into the side of Galen Wunsch down the front stretch. It was the 54 of Alan Dobbs who overcame all of this here tonight. And he will get the victory. Post-race interviews with your top three and those final race results for week number 10 at New Hampshire. You're watching Clean Cut, Paint & Co. 135, now the 143. Back with more right after this.
Walking and rolling costume started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to our post-race coverage and the Clean Cut Paint & Co. 135 at New Hampshire had a lot of events. Race number 10 has concluded for 143 miles here tonight for the QSR Simulations Next Gen Cup Series. It was Bradley Wilson who got stage number 1, 18 cautions, 15 lead changes. It was an eventful day and a lot of tempers, a lot of feelings were hurt here tonight. And we're going to see the aftermath of it, I'm sure, here in our post-race coverage. And we got the top three to talk to, but it's Alan Dobbs adding another win to the season. Jesse Gordon from 9th to the 27th position, back up to second. Jesse Gordon will get a top 3, and it's Davis Greenwell in the number 20. We'll get a talk with those drivers in just a moment's time. Garrett Wolfenbarger will finish in 4th. Jason Blaney, a 5th place finish for him. He started up towards the front, so he will finish in the top 5. Kenny Frisbee, 8th. Wyatt Walker, a top 10. Al Likens, man, it was a fight for all of these drivers outside of 5th place. They were in and out of the top 10 several times tonight. Al Likens, Johnny DePasquale, and Quentin Stewart with a top 10 here to round off race number 10. Brent Allen will finish 11th with Austin Dowdy in 12th. Trevor Trego will finish 13th. Mitchell Costner in 14th position. Nathan Lyon atop 15. Dylan Picklesheimer not getting the finish he felt he deserved. Wyatt McCombs, another one of those drivers that probably should have finished in the top 10. Tough day for him. Jeremiah Nelson turns sideways on the backstretch. He ends up getting a penalty and finishes in 18th. Galen Wunsch also a penalty. He'll finish in 19th. And then Brantley Bryant will round out your top 20. Blake Giglio exits the session early after a spin there on the restart and coming out of turn 2, 21st for him. Tony Burlington will finish 22nd. Ryan Field 10 laps down. Then you have Austin Thomas with too much damage. Fred Pennington early exit 11 laps down in 25th. Bradley Wilson 26th. Then you have Justin Clapper, who was in the top 10, not sure if he got contact or exactly what happened to the 63, but he was in a situation for a top 10 with about 10 to go. Ryan Philbrick, 28th. Nicholas Caldwell, early exit. Christian Ruck-Regal, 30th. And the last car to talk about is John Walker, who elected not to grid here tonight. First driver we're going to bring up into the broadcast booth, it's Alan Dobbs in the number 54. You add another victory on the season. It comes late in this regular season. How does it feel, though, to survive the chaos that was New Hampshire tonight?
Oh, I mean, it feels great just for this race to be over, to be honest. I mean, we had I thought a really good race up front. I mean, we battled hard and, threw some sliders and, did the best we could to put on a good show and didn't really have a whole lot of incidents up front. I don't know where they were starting or what was going on, but I feel like we only did like 20 laps. Was that like the longest run we had or something?
Yeah, I believe the longest stint that we had here tonight was 27 laps, and that came right around the midway point in the race, somewhere around lap 37 or after the stage. So it would have been around lap 40, I think. And then we ran.
Yeah,
that
honestly,
run.
that was me. And I think the end of that was me and Garrett got together up front, kind of racing 3 wide. I don't really know who was at fault. I haven't watched the replay. I feel like it was more of a racing incident than anything. I felt like I was trying to kind of pin him up top, and I feel like he was trying to cut down the angle off the exit, kind of touch. So sorry to him. I didn't mean to spin him out. I didn't mean to get into him. It's just racing.
Well, Alan, we had a lot of that tonight, and it wasn't just you that got into somebody. There was actually teammates that got into each other in front of you there, right around the. I think it was the first green light checkered or just before that, where the 51 and the 32 made contact, and then you had the 16 slide up the racetrack. It just looked difficult tonight to keep that car on the bottom off the exit.
It really was, especially on in turn 2. The car was really snappy loose when you would exit on the low lane. So it was definitely, there was a lot of times where if you wasn't respecting the fact that your car can't get through here at full speed, then yeah, it was real easy to get loose or push up. I had an issue myself. I got a little loose off too there near the end and got up into the wall. I had a little bit of damage, but honestly, all the cautions just saved me. I mean, I'd rather it had ran out to the end and we got to actually have a race to the finish, but it worked out for me. I was able to keep them behind me on the restarts. Even though they were faster than me and had a little bit of damage, it was hard to pass. There wasn't a good line to pass people. You had to really push the issue.
Alan, I got to ask one more question here. You have Redline Racing Network on this machine. I feel a little bit insulted. I don't know why there's not a V-Speed logo on the side of this thing, but go ahead and shout out those people and anybody else you have on that car and put this car into victory lane for another time at QSR.
Yeah, Bradley, I'm always accepting more sponsors. So, if you want to see it out there, all you gotta do is hit me up. But other than that, shout out to my beautiful wife as always. The new sponsors on the car, Redline Racing Network, Tier 1 setup shop. By the way, if anybody wants to do some open setup racing, they do all the NASCARs, Legends, ARCA, a couple of other things, some road cars. They're growing. It's a pretty new setup shop, but they're growing. And they're adding more and more cars to their list. If you want to go over there and check out a setup, use code Dobbs. It's just my last name, and you can get 10% off of that setup. So shout out to them for coming on board. All the guys at Cavalier Racing, they did not have a great night, but yeah, I love all them guys. They're really fun to hang out with and race with. And, I hope they have better coming up. They did all they could. It was one of those nights where it was hard to stay out. And shout out to you for the broadcast. Appreciate you and all the other drivers, and everybody watching on the broadcast. Appreciate y'all.
Alan Dobbs adding his second victory here in race number 10. We look forward to seeing you next week at Rockingham.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
And now moving to our second place finisher, it's going to be Jesse Gordon in the 110. And Jesse, man, this race started out rough for you. You had a lap 1 incident. It was actually lap 2. We had just come across for lap 2, and that car goes sideways, and you fall back to around 20th position. I think it was 27th was the lowest you were. And then it seemed like everything happened in front of you. But somehow, with all the strategy changes, you find your way to the top 3. Well-deserved. I think I give you driver of the day if you pulled it off, and look at you, top 3.
Yeah, in honesty, it was chaotic, man. My teammate got spun there on the lap 2 incident, and I avoided him barely, missing the wall on him. Got spun around. I didn't actually make contact at all with anything, but obviously lost all the track position. And yeah, from there it was just everything happened. I got collected in or hit, taken out. I had 6 minutes of damage at one point in this race, so I just fixed my damage, waited my time, drove cautious, and just started picking my way through. And man, that was just pure chaos. The last 30 laps, I had 1x away from getting a penalty, so I was just sweating bullets. I was just trying to just finish the damn race, but man, it was a good race, but just I think some people just can't prepare for the checkups or just unaware, I think, and don't look ahead enough.
Well, you go back to that incident count and, the black flags that were coming out. There was a lot of drivers that got penalties tonight because of that. And they weren't even directly involved. It was just the aftermath. You'd have a car that would get loose ahead of everybody, and then everyone kind of piles in the middle of the corner. Jesse, if there's anything that you could take away from this race, or maybe some advice, what would you throw out to these guys?
I mean, just when the field goes green, I get you can make up the most positions after the green, but there's a risk, and the risk is wrecking yourself, wrecking someone. And no matter what you do the rest of the race, if you did something deliberate, you're going to get penalized. The league is going to penalize you. So just overall, just try and drive cautious and maybe check up a little sooner, a little earlier. Just give a little more space. All in all, it runs a better race overall and a better broadcast for you to call. So I mean, there's good racing. It's just as the field gets stretched out, then you can make your passes once you got cleaner on your front nose and able to kind of pick and choose your lines, But when everybody's on top of each other, it just don't work out. So that's what I did from there on out, trying to make my way through the field, and that's how I ended up where I ended up. Really, I mean, I still had some damage on my car. and I was able to pull it out. So yeah, I had to drive cautious because I was one incident away from getting DQ'd.
Yeah, 1 point away, but you come home in the top 3. Congratulations on that. I know this is a rebound for the past few weeks, and I know the 110 has been hungry for another podium. Anybody you got to shout out, Jesse, while we have you up in the broadcast booth?
Yeah, this week, in my real life, this has been a rough week for me. I mean, actually a roller coaster. It's been a great week. We had our first daughter 6 days ago, but
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. She's beautiful, she's healthy. But my wife yesterday, she had to go to the hospital and she's still there right now in the ICU. So prayers go to her. I have to stay home back with the kids and occasionally have family watch, and then I get to go and visit her in the hospital, and it's a chaotic moment right now. So this was a nice takeaway for me from this emotional week for me. So I just, I try and pick and choose and show up and have a good race and just do it for the fun of it. So I want to shout out to my wife. Hope you get better and come home soon. And of course, all my sponsors and you as well.
Jesse, thoughts and prayers from us here at V Speed as well, and I hope everything goes okay. Keep me posted on that as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We hope the best, and congratulations on a new baby girl.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe she'll be a racer someday.
I hope so. I mean, we need more here on the iRacing service, and I know QSR is always recruiting. So, maybe 4 or 5 years old. I know that's when my boys started messing around with the simulator and asking questions. So, anything with a steering wheel. But appreciate you, Jesse.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Jesse Gordon, second place here at New Hampshire, and a rebound back and forth day. We'll look forward to seeing you at Rockingham.
All right, thank you.
And finally, that brings us to our third place finisher, Davis Greenwell. And Davis, I might have called you out here on the broadcast. I know there was probably some miscommunication on that final restart. I know that the contact there behind you, there was a lot going on with your teammates, probably a lot going on in the Discord at the very end of this race. And so it's probably difficult to hear what was going on, but man, a lot going on there for you. You gained 14 positions and you were quiet all night. You got a top 3.
Hey, so let me just clear the air here. So this is no shade at anybody. Number one, it was me and Wyatt in Discord. Also, shout out to Carson, my main dog, crew chief number 59. Big shout out. Hashtag race for 59. But the Discord was not loud. The issue we had tonight was Quentin, bless his heart, was getting a little fed up with the driver's chat. And I can't blame him. I would be too, to be honest. And so he had muted the driver's chat. So I had no clue that Allen was trying to pick the top lane. So I'm sitting here behind him trying to rev bomb it, like trying to wonder, like, why is he out on the top side? Because, I was restarting second there. And so, eventually it clicked in my head. I was like, oh, he's trying to talk, but the fucking chat's muted. So I go get down on the bottom and just in time and figure it out. I had a bad restart because of it, but that's all right.
Well, Davis, you had that last restart there. It seemed like the chaos ensued after the fact. You said you were in there. You were listening to your teammates. What exactly was said there between the 51 and the 32?
Oh, no. They were in another Discord call.
I got you. All right. So you couldn't be a fly on the wall there. You were part of Team Ford. I know that Blake Giglio had an up and down night. You had an up and down night. You started back in 17th, but I believe this is the first time that we've had a talk with you.
Yes, sir, it is.
So what was your race like? I know it was chaos for a lot of these guys, but I mean, we've got a lot of technical racetracks with Rockingham and Darlington coming up. I mean, what's in store for us for these next 3 weeks?
I don't know. Darlington, I usually run kind of mid-pack, so I'm just hoping for a clean race there. Not my strong suit for sure. Rockingham, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of touch-up on. It's been a minute since I raced it. But I kind of like these short tracks. These kind of half a mile to a mile. I don't know, something about them just clicks with me. Like if we do a little Martinsville, a little Bristol action, usually I'm all right there. So I don't know. Tonight I got the track about an hour before the practice opened up. So maybe I just need to like not really practice that much and somehow I get quicker. Who knows?
Well, I know in my experience, you put a lot of time into this, and it takes turn one, lap one to undo all of it. So I don't know. I know some of these guys have been talking about patience. Jesse Gordon was preaching that in his post-race interview. But Davis, congratulations on a podium finish. I know that it was tough here tonight. And one of the unique paint schemes, I actually, watching your car out there, it doesn't quite fit the paint schemes for the one of Goon's team. So I was a little caught off guard to see Goons on the side of it when we got to the post race. But yeah, I mean, you're the unique guy. You're kind of the odd man out when it comes to that.
Oh, no. This car uglier than shit. I made it in about 5 minutes, did a little spec mapping, got it on the trading paints, and then, that was good enough for me. But yeah, that car is ugly as shit.
Well, we appreciate you coming up here in the broadcast booth, Davis. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Obviously, my main people here at One of Goon's OG Gear. Somebody told me that Matt Black was sending me a second pair for reasons I can't disclose, but got me some OG Gear gloves coming on our way. Make sure y'all check that out. And yeah, shout out my parents, Chef Greg, Dr. Rain. That's how we do it.
Davis Greenwell, third place here at New Hampshire. We'll see you at Rockingham.
Thank you, sir.
And with that, it's time to talk about next week. We were just mentioning it there a moment ago, but it's on to Rockingham for the next one. Up next for QSR in the Next Gen Cup Series, The Rock. Week number 11. You can tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I think Davis Greenwell, I apologize for him if anybody was upset about that, but it is a family show. And occasionally you do have those post-race interviews, and we'll talk to Davis about that. But for everybody here at V-Speed and Adam Baker, our other owners, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, our other producers, Logan Threlkeld, Lucas Lyons, it's Bradley Cooper saying so long from New Hampshire, and in my opinion, good riddance. Our camera is provided by Dougie Beard. You can catch us live here tomorrow night for Racing Revolution and Goat Locker. Until then, stay tracking, everybody.